Hello, Sorry, Joy. So, I have a bit of a problem with the way people view people with mental health. There's a huge stigma around it, and I think that every single person in the world has had some sort of mental health struggle at some point in their life, and I think that if everyone views people with a mental illness as being worse than they are, then you're creating this world where people don't respect one another because everybody can be labeled with a mental illness. There's there's no escaping it. Like if you say the wrong word once to the wrong person, you can be labeled as like being bipolar, being schizophrenic, being OCD. Um, if you move too much, if you move around too much, you can be labeled with the word for that. I'm thinking trichotillomania, but that's when somebody pulls their hair. Like little things, little things are the mental health diagnosis. And I think that if we constantly believe that we're in this trap that we can never get out of, there's no point in thinking that. There's there's no benefit if the patient thinks that they can never get better. What good does that do a person? Like just having the belief that you can get better can heal a lot of trauma. And I think that a lot of the depression and the anxiety comes from a traumatic experience that happened. Like it could be trauma of my parents weren't situated right growing up, or um, trauma of this guy won't like me and I don't know why, what's wrong with me. Like many guys don't like me, what's wrong with me. Or it um, could be many things. Um, it could be like I can't learn things very easily. What's wrong with me? That could be a trauma because I'm constantly thinking about it. And if I'm constantly thinking about how bad I am, then of course I'm going to spiral down into a state of depression. But the answer to that is not to say that I have this diagnosis for ever. It's not to say I can never heal from that. That's not the right approach to things. Um, yeah. Like here's the thing. You can you can be told that you have mental issues for not talking a lot, and then you can have mental illnesses for talking too much. You can you can have mental illnesses for looking at your fingernails too much or something like that, something real stupid. It's like what what kind of person how can a person live without doing something repetitiously? I think psychiatrists need to have accountability from somebody else. Generally, that's supposed to be the judge, but for some reason, the judge does not hold the psychiatrist accountable for anything, and that's a huge problem. So I think the public needs to hold the court accountable, hold the psychiatrist accountable. I think that patients need to have more ability to speak up for themselves, because I don't feel like I'm living in America. I feel like I'm living in another country that has a dictator, because I don't have the right to speak up for myself because a psychiatrist once upon a time said I had schizophrenia, and therefore everything I say is insane. Like, who can you not say that about? Who can you not say has schizophrenia? You can say everybody has thought disorder. Every single person, even you. Like, yeah. Even in this video, they would look at this video and say, I'm going off on a tangent. I'm going off on rabbit trails. And it's not like when we converse, we're given a certain subject to we're not given a certain criteria of what we should say. It's just a conversation. It's just, I am speaking my mind. Sometimes what's on my mind is not completely thought out, because it has to do with memory recall and learning. And that's a very difficult thing to control. It's very impressive if anyone can recall things down to a T. You have to be extremely smart to do that. And if a psychiatrist is